Never be satisfied with yourself. Always know that as you invest the effort and time on you, that's the greatest ability that human beings have above animals. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Tree can't be anything but a tree. Human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now.
Here's all you have to do. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Once I understood that philosophy, it totally changed my life. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fantastic. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, which is super fantastic. Success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become, by becoming an attractive person.
Most of the people out here are running around empty. They have no sense of self, no sense of self-love. When I say self-love, it has nothing to do with celebrity, money, materialistic things, and all of the things that your negative mind could probably go to. Has nothing to do with self-love, has nothing to do with looks, nothing to do with cars and any of the superficial things that one would assume that could make you love yourself even more. It's a matter of knowing your value.
Everything of value requires care and attention. Everything of value requires discipline. Children require discipline. They must have a structure built for them. They must have boundaries to work within so they feel secure and comfortable to explore and grow. They must learn to recognize what's right and what's wrong, what's acceptable behavior, what's not acceptable. Children require unwavering discipline, consistent discipline, or they'll be confused as to how they're supposed to behave. Likewise, our thoughts require discipline. We must set up our inner boundaries, our codes of conduct, or our thoughts will be confused. And with confused thoughts, we'll end up being confused, hopelessly lost in the maze of life. And confused thoughts produce confused results. Discipline is the mind being trained to control our lives. Discipline is a set of standards which we've selected as a personal code of conduct. Discipline is imposing on ourselves the requirements for honoring these standards. Once we've adopted these standards of behavior and conduct, we're committed to honor them. And if we don't, then there can be no disciplined activity.
I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love. That when you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is loving. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
I want to show you an unexpected way to love yourself even deeper. And it starts with discipline. We see the word discipline as a shameful word. Your child does something that they shouldn't. You discipline them. Your dog poops on the floor. You discipline it. But self-discipline should never be seen as a bad thing. The core of self-discipline is self-love. Because we don't usually use self-discipline to do the things that are bad for us. We use self-discipline to do the things that we know that we should do.
There's things that you know you're supposed to do as a human being. Things that you know are going to improve your life. Do those things. There's things that you know are going to make you a worse person and make your life worse. Don't do those things. Don't do the things that are making you weaker. Start doing the things that are going to make you stronger and smarter and faster and healthier and going to make you a better human being.
Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
Self-love is not taking it easy because we've had a long day. Self-love is the discipline to force yourself to go to the gym. Because number one, we know that working out is good for our bodies and our minds. And number two, we made a promise to ourselves that we would do it. This doesn't have to just be physical activities either. Self-love can be having the discipline to sit quietly and meditate, because we know that meditation will make us more calm and gentle to those that are around us. And not having self-discipline will hinder us from growing and becoming our best selves. We all want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to grow into that person that we feel in our hearts that we can be, the one that we see in our dreams. And when we're progressing, we feel better about ourselves. We hold our heads higher. We walk with more confidence. We start to see how much closer we are to becoming that person that we want to be. And that is the ultimate fulfillment. And the better that we become, the better that we can serve the ones around us in this world for good. So the key to self-love is not to try to search for it externally, not to try to find it in other people or to find it in things. Self-love is internal. And the key to self-love is through self-discipline.
So 3 ways to develop willpower. Finish what you begin, do a little bit better than you think you can, and do a little bit more than you think you can. All of those 3 things require effort, and that's developing willpower. Finish what you begin. It requires willpower, right? So every time you finish what you begin throughout the day, you're developing willpower. Why do you develop willpower? You develop willpower so you can control where your awareness goes in your mind. The ball of light, right? For those of you who've done the course. You develop willpower, and every time my awareness drifts away, I use my willpower to bring my awareness back. I develop willpower to control where my awareness is going. I control where my awareness is going to control where my energy is flowing. I control where my energy is flowing to control what is manifesting in my life. So for me, the way I develop willpower is I look at my average day and I go, what are the opportunities in my day that I can use to develop willpower? One simple thing that I talk about quite often is every day I sleep. So before I sleep, I floss, I brush my teeth, throw on my pajamas, I go to sleep. How do I finish the process of sleep? I make the bed in the morning. So when I make the bed, I finish what I begin, and I'm developing willpower. All those things are little acts to develop willpower. And imagine if you're taking a pebble and putting it in a jar every time, 2 weeks later, the jar will be filled with pebbles. So I looked at the tasks throughout the day, finishing those tasks as opportunities to develop willpower. And after a month, I've developed a tremendous amount of willpower. Now I can use that willpower and direct it with align it with my passion to create discipline in my life so that I can enjoy what I love more.